Okay, Wesley, you put the pictures of Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, and Chancellor Williams, talking about you have a right to say if you disagree, blah blah blah, as if they made, mistakes that are so important that you need to address them. Just before I start, I heard about some tribe of Shabazz. Okay, now is this backed by archaeology, by history? Because so far as I can see, life been going on for so long, and all of a sudden, around the 60s, somebody comes in the place and say, "Look, we come from this tribe." Something that, well, anyway, if you have evidence, you holler. You know what I'm saying? Because you groupies, man, and some of you from a particular organization sitting in the street reciting, quoting like school children some lessons that you learn by heart. Then you have children and they know the same lessons and nothing else, and you have grandchildren and it's the same circle. We have like 3 generations that have been wasted with false knowledge that's nothing but trick knowledge. Now let's see if you agree with this.
And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours?
Farrakhan said, was Malcolm your traitor or ours? Whether it is yours or ours, obviously he is a traitor. Do you agree, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, that Malcolm X was a traitor? And for the record, this was said when Malcolm was dead.
God has made me a better man for you than Malcolm X.
God has made Farrakhan a better man than Malcolm X. Do you agree, Dr. Wesley Muhammad? Next.
I'm standing where Malcolm would have stood if he had the character to stand where I'm standing.
Farrakhan, he's standing where Malcolm would have stood if he had the character to stand where he is standing. In other words, Malcolm X didn't have the character to stand where Farrakhan is standing now. Do you agree, Dr. Wesley Muhammad?
Yes, he's immoral. You can't take 9 teenage women and seduce them and give them babies and not tell me then tell me you're moral. You could do it if you admitted you did it and admitted that the babies were yours. I'd shake your hand and call you a man. A good one, too. But anytime you seduce teenage girls and make them be charged with adultery, make them hide your crime, why, you're not even a man, much less a divine man. So, and this is what he did. He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself. Yes, that's why he wanted me dead, because he knew that as soon as I woke up, I'd tell him.
Now, I'm curious to know whether or not you agree with this, because a lot of people don't know about Malcolm saying this publicly, and this being filmed, so you have the video and the audio, because we never really get to hear his side of the story. And over the years, it has been really sad for me to notice how delusional the Arabaz Negroes get and how much they are in denial. Y'all trying to be slick, trying to say that it was Elijah Muhammad's wife, or all sorts of excuses. But let's keep it real, as they say. Who is going to put his own wives in isolation? And if you watch the the video called Regime Change, you will realize and notice for sure that It wasn't his wife's, because when the allegation came out, it was a problem for both Malcolm X and Farrakhan. And they would have known that he had wives. And why would wives seek some sort of child support? You understand? We're not stupid. You can't just keep on lying for years and forever. And on the official website, it said that there was some misunderstanding that Malcolm had about the private life of Elijah Muhammad. God damn, that's how you summarize such an issue? Well, it's all good. But it's stated for the record, whether you address it or not. Moving right on. For those who don't know, we're going to let it be known who is founding the Nation of Islam.
To your best of your knowledge, could you explain to us what you know, what the $1 billion was offered for?
I'm sorry?
To the best of your knowledge, could you explain to us what the $1 billion was offered for?
To the best of my knowledge, I can, because from the beginning I was involved. I'm responsible by God's grace for Minister Farrakhan and Brother Muammar Gaddafi meeting. We did everything to get a meeting between Minister Farrakhan and Brother Gaddafi, because Minister Farrakhan had sought a meeting with him years back. And when he arrived in Libya to meet with Gaddafi, Gaddafi's plane was taking off. There was a miscommunication and something had happened and they missed each other. So I was dedicated to the two of them meeting. And I stayed in there and laid in there until God helped me to set up the base and the foundation for the $5 million that came to Minister Farrakhan. I did the work of cutting down the underbrush, paving the way, and opening up the way for the $5 million.
Okay, so you heard it from Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who, by the way, was dismissed not because the NOI disagreed with what he said. They just didn't like the way he said it. They didn't like the manner, and that was a good enough reason for him to be dismissed according to them. So you might as well, put so much work in, but then, oh, I don't like the way you said that, you're dismissed. There's a word called loyalty, but groupies don't really understand that word. Now, when somebody does you a favor, it's like you owe him one. But when there's $5 million that come into play, it's a whole other level. So I will show you how Gaddafi gets so comfortable that he becomes disrespectful. And I wonder if the NOI has some self-respect, because I haven't heard them say anything about what will follow. Just listen. Article from the BBC entitled "Darfur, a Quarrel Over a Camel." Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi has likened the conflict in Sudan's Darfur region to a quarrel over a camel that has become an international issue. Mr. Gaddafi made the comments while addressing students at Cambridge University in the UK via video link from Libya's capital Tripoli. You might laugh if I say that the main reason of this issue is a camel, he said. The problem we are having now is that we politicize such problem between tribes. He also said that the crisis had been prolonged by international aid agencies because the local population increasingly depended on the support it received and therefore wanted the conflict to continue. I'm pretty sure he will never say, for instance, that what's going on in Palestine or Israel, whatever it's called nowadays, is a conflict over a camel. But he is comfortable enough to say that about Sudan. What's going on in Sudan is a genocide.